So now, before you begin taking yourself into a more relaxing state of deeper comfort, it might be interesting to just put off all notions for a while, since we are talking about procrastination specifically here. You can just put off for a little while that deeper sense of hypnotic trance work that you might be expecting to achieve across the next several moments. And so as you listen to the sound of my voice, perhaps it's time now just to tell you about an old friend of mine who was an interesting person as I used to listen to all of the stories that he would tell me. And I remember specifically one day he was complaining about those dull-witted people. You might know the type. Those kind of dull people who would sit themselves down in the gutter somewhere, and he would watch them as they argued with everyone around them, just growing so mad at the world. And I asked him exactly what drew his attention to those people in particular. And my friend said, it's because when he looks at them, he can always see them shifting around, just scratching several itches upon their body and never quite getting comfortable within themselves. And he said he thought he could even see into their minds in some strange way, exactly seeing how it is that they thought that they knew it all. And I said to him, no one can really see into another person's mind in that way and make those kind of harsh judgments, can they? And no one can really tell those kind of people what to do or when to do it, or even exactly offer them how to help themselves. And I had another friend who seemed to more or less agree with both of us in some unusual way. And this other friend, she would say about those people in her own relaxing tone of voice, that those people seem to refuse to learn anything that might take them out of those lower places there. And she would say to both of us that it's so nice to know that people with intelligence like yourselves can easily learn how to let themselves drift into deeper trance. Which brings me back to this place in time now, as I find myself talking to you. And no doubt as you sit there or lie there, just finding yourself on your own chair or in your own bed perhaps, or someone else's chair or bed, while you are trying to be aware of exactly what it means that my voice is saying to you on some level or other. And perhaps you might find yourself even observing your own thoughts now, as you perhaps are even still resisting the idea of just drifting away into a deeper level of calmness and comfort and serenity and peacefulness. And I know, and probably you know, how sometimes in our busy day-to-day lives, how hard it can seem to reach that level of absolute calmness now. And isn't it interesting to know that when we really do choose to pay attention to everything that happens, or those things that don't quite happen in your experience, as you listen to me now and continue to observe your own thoughts as they maybe flash up images or bring you other types of sounds or sensations that change over time after time, all of those particular sensations that some people can feel in their arms or in their legs or toes or even in their noses or ears. And what is it about those particular thoughts or images or relaxing sensations that can take you deeper and deeper down into a calmer place of peaceful comfort now? And sometimes going into a truer state of hypnotic trance is really just a simple procedure, a simple piece of your own imagination, almost as if you can remember now those relaxing times when you might have read a good book, just turning those pages one after the other, and all the time finding yourself more and more absorbed into that interior world that story presents to you now. And maybe it's just as simple as finding yourself in a beautiful garden surrounded by lush green trees with those white fluffy clouds soaring overhead, and feeling that calm, gentle breeze as it drifts on by, just brushing against the surface of your skin there, as that orange sun is shining down upon you, and you find yourself absorbing up all of the warmth of those solar rays as they fill your body with a deeper sense of comfort and serene peace. And my same friends like to tell me that going into a deeper trance is often as easy as imagining yourself stepping down a series of stairs in that garden. As you move down, I don't know, maybe 5 or 10 or 7, sometimes as little as 3 stairs, all the time, feeling yourself and seeing yourself moving deeper and deeper down towards your place of total safety and calmness and still tranquility, and 3 deeper down now, 2 deeper down, and 1. You can look down and even see your own feet descending and continuing to descend those 3 stairs or 30 stairs, all the time feeling yourself dropping and drifting and floating further away into a relaxing state of absolute safe comfort. And as you find yourself continuing to drift and dream in this place of safety, however that appears now to you. You know that your unconscious mind is more receptive to those authentic ideas and those deeper levels of suggestion, because you have chosen, at least on some deeper level, to make more positive changes for yourself. And sometimes it's easier to understand and integrate particular changes, just as we understand the depth of meaning behind certain stories or fables or just little tales of interest. And I can say to you now that there is a particular story about a young woman who went to meet a wise old monk who used to live far up above in spectacular mountains. And that monk had lived his entire life in the pursuit of knowledge and truth. And that monk in particular was a renowned man with a mind of deep wisdom. And this particular monk had a great skill in the ancient art of calligraphy and the drawing and making of those brushed inscriptions of letters and marks on a page. And this young woman had travelled so far and wide to meet this particular monk. And after an incredibly long journey through forests and through streams and across bridges and up the side of that incredible mountain, climbing all of those stairs, she found herself standing right before the ancient face of that old monk. And that old monk asked the young woman, "What exactly brings you to me now?" And the young woman said that she has pursued so many directions in life. She has found herself studying a number of different disciplines and schools of thought, and she's come to an important decision. "And what decision is that?" asked the old monk. And the young woman said, "I know now that what I want most of all is to learn to draw a perfect circle, and that I understand that you, old man, are a learned monk, and that you know and have the secret knowledge and understanding of so many things. And in my travels, I have heard that you, of all people, do know how to draw a perfect circle. And I come to you today wondering if you would draw one for me." Well, the old monk listened silently, and as he did, he closed down his eyes, perhaps as if looking for some deeper inspiration. And he knew instinctively that this young woman was sincere in her purpose. She really was looking for the truth and the answer to her question and how to draw a perfect circle. And so the old monk simply answered and said, "I would be honored to show you, young lady." And as he did, he went to a special crystal cabinet. And as he opened the cabinet, The young woman saw the monk remove an exquisitely carved silver calligraphy pen, and with one continuous fluid motion of his old withered hand, the monk drew upon an ancient piece of yellowed parchment a perfect circle. And the young woman was struck by the sheer beauty of what the old monk had achieved, and she said, "That is indeed a perfect circle. But I don't think that I can do it. I don't think that I can do that. Will you please teach me?" And the monk responded to the young woman, and he asked her, "Well, how long have you been drawing circles, young lady?" And the young woman replied, "For 5 months I have been practicing my circles." And so the old monk then asked her to draw for him one of her circles. And so she made a deliberate effort to get it absolutely right as she could draw it. And so she did draw for the monk a circle. And once she had finished her circle, she looked down, and the monk looked down, and both of them together knew immediately that whilst it was a circle, it was still an ordinary circle. And the old monk said, "So for 5 months you've been practicing drawing your circles, young lady, and you're not quite sure you can draw yet a perfect circle. But how long do you think it took me to achieve the drawing of a perfect circle?" "I'm not sure," said the young woman. 50 years, said the old monk. "For 50 years I have been practicing, and for 50 years it has taken me to draw a perfect circle. But I can see that in 5 months you have drawn a very good circle, but you're not yet sure it's good enough. So, young lady, if I am to make your long journey worthwhile, I say to you now that if you keep chasing perfection, you will be living your life in a circle, rather than being sure of what you have drawn in your life." And as the young woman absorbed that message, the room around her became incredibly silent, and all that shone within it was the twinkle in the old monk's eyes. Which is a story which takes me back to my first friend, who also told me that you will have an irresistible urge and a driving desire to do now all of those things that you complain about, and all of those things that you keep putting off. And he said I could tell you, while you drift in and out of a comfortable trance, that you will get great satisfaction now out of doing those things that you haven't done, because nothing else will seem to be quite as much fun. And that may work, but the only way you'll know for sure will be if you do your very best to fight that idea, to fight that impulse, and to not do those things better just for a little while. And then my other friend chimed in, and she said, if you can, to not do them very well if you must, because I know it will be difficult to not do those things for a little while. And then both of my friends said, so we are going to give you permission to just go ahead and do some things, but just those things that you have to do. So remember to just do what you need to do, and to try to force yourself to put off everything else, so that these deeper hypnotic suggestions have time to build up in greater force, while you continue to resist them as much as possible and just do some things, whatever things you feel you have to do, but make sure that you keep fighting that hypnotic urge to do everything at once as much as you can. And just like that young woman returning down from the heights of that mountain, and just as I found myself saying goodbye to my old friends, you can take the time now to just assimilate and integrate all of the deeper meanings that have been delivered to you now on that unconscious level. And as you continue to relax, perhaps even drifting back through that safe, lush garden, and find yourself stepping and climbing those series of stairs once again. In your own time, you can find yourself coming back to full, conscious, waking reality, feeling wonderfully good in each and every way, feeling as if you've had an incredible, invigorating, refreshing nap. And as you come back now, coming back to full, conscious waking reality, you might find yourself stretching and yawning and opening your eyes, feeling refreshed and reinvigorated and energized in each and every way, as every muscle and nerve in your body just feels wonderfully good. Thank you for listening, and talk to you soon.